Assalamu alaikum. The title of our lesson is Types of Reproduction, Sexual Reproduction. Before you start, please follow these instructions. Sit in a quiet place, prepare your tools, follow your teacher's instructions, ask using the platform, repeat the video more than once. Now please prepare your science worksheet book and notebook to take notes and a pencil. At the end of this video, you will be able to specify the main conditions for sexual reproduction. From the previous video, we took reproduction is the production of new living things. Puberty stage is the stage during which living things become able to reproduce. The importance of reproduction is ensures the continuity of life of living things and prevents the extinction of living things. The types of reproduction are sexual in the presence of two parents and asexual in the presence of one parent. Let's discuss first sexual reproduction. Before we start introducing sexual reproduction, we must know the two types of cells in order to know which type is involved in sexual reproduction. So, there are two types of cells, body cells, such as nerve cell, blood cell, intestinal cell, and muscle cell. All these cells are common in the male and female's body. The second type is sex cells, like the ovule and the sperm. These cells are not common between the male's and female's body. The ovule is present in the female's body, however the sperm is present in the male's body. So, sex cells are involved in sexual reproduction. But how does sexual reproduction occur? Sexual reproduction requires the presence of two parents, the female and the male, in which the female produces an ovule and the male produces the sperm. Then, fertilization takes place, in which there is union between the sperm and the ovule to produce the zygote, which is the first cell of the embryo. And finally, the embryo starts to develop, and it becomes similar to the parents. So, what is fertilization? Fertilization is the union between the sperm, the male sex cell, and the ovule, female sex cell, to produce a fertilized egg called zygote. Let's watch this video about sexual reproduction. During sexual reproduction, the ovule is inside the mother's body. The sperms swim up to reach the ovule. Only one of these sperms will succeed to unite with the ovule and fertilizes it. Then, the zygote is formed. And finally, the development of the embryo starts. Now, please open your booklet on worksheet 3 Part A. Let's read the first part. There are two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Sexual reproduction. Most living things start from one cell. Where does this cell come from? The cells in the body of a living thing are of two kinds, body cells and sex cells. Body cells differ from sex cells in structure and role. Muscle cells, nerve cells, blood cells, etc. are examples of body cells. Now, please pause the video and solve numbers 1 and 2. Number 1. Give the name of the two kinds of cells found in the body of a living thing. The two kinds of cells are body cells and sex cells. Number 2. Give two examples of body cells. Nerve cells, muscle cells. Now let's read the second part. Sex cells are of two kinds, the male sex cells and the female sex cells. The male sex cells are called sperm and the female sex cells are called ovules. Now, pause the video again and solve numbers 3 and 4. Number 3. Indicate the two kinds of sex cells. Give their names. Male sex cell, sperm, and female sex cell, ovule. Number 4. Sex cells are called reproductive cells. Explain why. Because sex cells are responsible for reproduction, producing new living things. Now let's complete reading the last part. Sexual reproduction starts when a male and a female mate. As a result, the male sex cell sperm is transferred from the male's body to reach the female sex cell ovule. The union of these two cells produces a fertilized egg. This process is called fertilization. This fertilized egg represents the beginning of a new living thing. Now let's observe this figure in worksheet 3. Here is the male sex cell and here is the female sex cell. During fertilization, the sperm and the ovule unite to produce a fertilized egg, which then produces a new living thing. Now, please pause the video again and solve numbers 5 and 6. Number 5. Define fertilization. Fertilization is the union between the sperm, male sex cell, and the ovule, female sex cell, to produce a fertilized egg. Number 6. Discuss whether the offspring is identical to each other and to their parents. The offspring are similar to each other and to their parents. Now, please pause the video again and solve numbers 7 and 8. Number 7. Explain how a sperm and an ovule form a new living thing. When the sperm reaches the ovule in the female's body, the sperm and the ovule unite to produce a fertilized egg, which develops into a new living thing. Number 8. Indicate the number of living things needed for sexual reproduction. 2 parents, male and female. Finally, as a summary, the types of cells are body cells and sex cells. Sex cells are of two types: the sperm and the ovule. The conditions of sexual reproduction are presence of two parents and fertilization. Fertilization is the union between the sperm and the ovule to produce a fertilized egg. The offspring in sexual reproduction are similar but not identical to their parents.